Hi, welcome back to Austin Loves Movies. Today we're going to be talking about Disney Part 2. You see, the last time I left off with Disney, we talked about Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom. So today I'm going to be talking about a little bit of Epcot, Hollywood Studios, Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach, a little bit of Disney Springs, and some resort hotels, not all of them, just because there's just too many, and I haven't been to all of them, so I couldn't review it. So let's start with Epcot. Epcot is a very informative, continent-based, fun theme park. You have rides like Living with the Lands, which is a slow boat ride where you can explore the greenhouses of Epcot. And if you didn't know, Disney grows their own food, and a lot of it comes from Epcot in that greenhouse, especially the fruits and the vegetables. So when you see a tomato or any lettuce, asparagus, so on and so forth, that's Disney's own supply. They don't ship it from somebody else and stuff like that. So I want to talk about Mission Space. First, Mission Space is a very fun ride. It's space themed and you launch into space, I believe Mars actually, and they have two options, the green button or the green option, and the red option. So the difference is the green option is much more slower, relaxed, not so rough in movement. So if you like those type of rides, go on the green. But if you want rough, kind of have your head get hit around, go to the red option. But they have like different positions for the people on this ship. You're not really in a ship, you're actually in a dark room with like a screen, but you have buttons, so like the pilot has to hit the pilot button and so on and so forth. I don't actually remember all the positions, but I do recommend it. It is very fun. So then you have a Test Track. Test Track is so much fun. What it is practically you're in a test car and you go through the tire changes, I believe the temperature changes, a new paint job, and then at the very end you get to test it at like, I believe they said 65 miles per hour, but you're going through like almost in a circle. It's so much fun. Actually, at Disneyland, they have a ride similar to Test Track, but it's Cars themed. And honestly, I think they should bring the Cars theme to Disney World. It's actually a very much more enjoyable ride for me, just because it's Cars themed and I know the characters. So yeah. But still recommend it. It's really fun anyway. They have this new Frozen ride, which I rode for the very first time a few months ago. And I'm not a huge Frozen fan. I don't know if that will cause me controversy or not, but I'm just not a Frozen fan. But you know, I'm at Disney. I needed to try it. It's a cute ride. You go through songs like In Summer and Let It Go, and some songs from Frozen 2, which I do not know. I've never heard the soundtrack or seen the movie. Yeah, that one's definitely gonna cause me some controversy. And so it's a cute little ride. Before they had this little Viking ride, but again, Frozen got so big and popular that they automatically replace that Viking ride with Frozen. And then you have the, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's called Grand Fiesta ride. It's in the Mexico part of Epcot, and so it has Donald Duck, and if you didn't get from the last video, Donald is my favorite. And then you have two other birds. And it's a cute little ride. Again, I'm a Donald ride. So it's a Donald ride. I'm a Donald person. So this is definitely for me. And then you have like Finding Nemo. They have this big building. And on the right side they have Turtle Time with Crush, which is similar to Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. The only difference is it's Crush from Finding Nemo and not the monsters of Monsters Inc. And then you have on this other side this little seesaw type of ride where you get in the seesaws and you see this aquarium which has real fish also mixed in with the fish from the movie. So you'll see Dory, Nemo, Marlin, Crush, Gil. I don't remember if Bruce is there or not. But it's a cute little ride. It's a really good way to get out of the heat and kind of relax for a moment. And then they have all this information about different fish, from stingrays, swordfish, clownfish, sharks, which they do not have sharks there. And if they do, they're just little tiny ones. So you won't be seeing a shark like Bruce. They don't have any great whites. It's kind of a bummer for me. I think they're beautiful animals. So, going on from that, Epcot has a bunch of continents you get to go through. You have Germany, Australia, Mexico, America, Norway, which I believe Norway is where Frozen is. And then you have China, Japan, France, England. That's what I can name on top of my head. And throughout the different continents, you get to try different food, you get to go to shops. So in England, you're going to have fish and chips. You're going to see very British merchandise. While in China, you're going to actually see much more Hello Kitty. Or Japan. I think it was Japan. You're going to see Hello Kitty and Pokemon, which I was actually surprised to see Pikachu at the Disney parks. Not the character, but like merchandise. So let's get that straight. Pikachu is not a character you meet at Epcot. That would be a whole different story. So it's seasonal, but they have different events that runs a few months each. At Epcot, they have the Food and Wine Festival, which was really good. My favorite thing I've ever ate at probably a Disney park is in Canada. It was this cheddar soup. It was beyond good. And then I tried a mimosa, and soon after, I did not feel good. I don't know if it was because of the heat, the rides, or all the walking, but it did not settle with me. Probably also was too sweet. But if you can do the heat, walking all day, and drinking alcohol beverages, I actually praise you for that, because I'm not that person by far. And So, and then they also have this, I don't know what it's called actually. I believe it's Festival of the Arts, where you see a bunch of artists and you see different paintings of different movies and all these type of things. You also have sidewalk chalk art, where it's not like a little kid drawing on a side chalk. They're very, very professional, which I don't really care for chalk. I don't know how these artists do it. I don't like the sound when it scrapes the ground or the feel of it. So it's definitely whoever has an interest in drawing in chalk. I'm sorry, I cannot talk today for some reason. So, like I said, for someone who can draw in chalk, that's amazing. Not me. So, really, that's all I have to say about Epcot. Oh, they also have a new Ratatouille ride, which I did not ride because when I went there, they had the virtual queue. They didn't have the stand-in queue yet. So when I checked in, and this is probably at 10, 11 in the morning, the time I could actually ride the ride was at 8 o'clock. And I just did not want to stay for 8 hours just to ride one ride. So I heard it's really fun. It's very interactive. So check that out. And then the icon at Epcot is this big spaceship Earth ball. I don't actually know what the ball is called, but I know that spaceship Earth it's a ride inside it. So that's why I call it the spaceship Earth ball. So let's go on to Hollywood Studios. First it was actually called Disney Studios, then they changed it to MGM Studios, and now it's Hollywood Studios. But the problem with being called Hollywood Studios, to me, is that it's not really Hollywood anymore. You see, when I was little and grew up kind of with the old Disney, they had the Backlog Tours, the Great Movie Ride, they have the Tower of Terror and Rockin' Roller Coaster, Voyage, Little Mermaid. Very, very Hollywood themed rides. And now it's not really Hollywood anymore. They have this huge Toy Story land, which I'm a huge Toy Story fan, so that's great for me. And definitely try the Slinky Dog Dash ride. Super cute, super fun, and it's a great roller coaster. Because I always thought that Slinky Dog would be a good ride to do if they made a Toy Story ride. And this is actually where I got these ears, just from that ride. And yeah, like I said, super cute. And so they also have this little alien kind of, I don't know, type of ride where it kind of spins. If you know a ride called the Razzler, it could be a different name in different places, but to me it's called the Razzler. It's kind of like that, but it's driven by the aliens who's like the Claw in Toy Story. So yeah, it's a super cute ride. It's definitely a family-friendly ride too, both of them are. Which is good because the other main roller coaster at Hollywood Studios, which I will get into, is not so family-friendly. As in, not a lot of little kids probably are tall enough to ride the ride. So, let's get into Star Wars Land. That's also the biggest attraction there. They have Flight of the Passage and Rise of the Resistance. And let's see, I think I wrote, I didn't write one of them. I'm trying to remember which one I wrote. I think it was Rise of the Resistance, yeah. And let me tell you, it's one of the most interactive, submersive rides I've ever ridden. From the stormtroopers to the ride itself, it's completely taking you into the story 100% and beyond. And I just want to do a shout out to these cast members who absolutely stay in character, especially during these rides, because they're kind of harsh, they're kind of cold to you, but they're supposed to be because they're working for Darth Vader. So shout out to these cast members who actually stay in character. Actually, you know what? Shout out to all the cast members for whatever job they do, from just hitting a button from the rides to taking pictures. It's probably not an easy job. You're in the heat, you're standing up all day, and these cast members are probably dealing with some moody, cranky people, so shout out to them. And some cast members can really make an experience much more enhanced. So, next time you go to the Disney parks and you kind of want to harass these people, remember that these people are trying to bring you a magical time. So let's all remember that and thank the cast members because they deserve it. So let's go back to where was I? Oh, Star Wars Land. Yeah, so very submersive. And I even love their little Coca-Cola bottles. They look just like little robots. They're so cute. I'm not gonna say any names from the characters from the movies because this is gonna just be a controversial video for people. I'm not a huge fan of Star Wars. I've really only seen one, and that's probably Rise of the Resistance. So, yeah, I haven't actually seen the original trio. So I'm just gonna stop there before people start yelling at me. So, they have the Tower of Terror, Rockin' Roller Coaster, and Be Our Guest. That's a Magic Kingdom. Beauty and the Beast live, also with Fantasmic as Sunset Boulevard. So, Tower of Terror is absolutely my favorite ride from the Disney World. From all the parks, it's definitely my top, probably 5. And it's so cool. And it's up my alley. I like Old Hollywood, I like ghosts, and I like thrill rides. So when you get all 3 of them together, you cannot go wrong. So what you do is you go to the Hollywood Tower Hotel. That's what the hotel actually is called. And then you go into the lobby, and you notice it's very deserted. It's very creepy. A lot of cobwebs, dust, abandoned coats and hats and teacups. And then they have this very haunting old Hollywood style music. So then you go into the library with a bunch of other people, And then you watch this little pre-show of the Twilight Zone. And they kind of tell you what happened. And the story is 5 people go into the elevator, and you see the elevator door shut, and all of a sudden lightning strikes, and then they disappear, and making it the cursed haunted hotel it is known now. So then after the pre-show, you're into the boiler room, and you go down to the service elevators, and they open up, and they have like rows of 5. It's like kind of topping each other, and you sit down, and they have these little seat belts where you kind of have to pull the yellow strap. And I really hope that people get the first row. Again, I know it's not really optional, and that other people have to just sit where they're assigned to sit, depending on the party, mostly. And so you're sitting in these seats, and you see the door shut, and then you go through this like Twilight Zone, like through the hallway of the hotel, and then all of a sudden it gets dark, and you kind of rise, and you see this little light crack, and then the doors open, and then all of a sudden you're dropping. You are just dropping down, rising up, dropping down, and it's really thrilling. The best part of the Tower of Terror, though, is you never get the same experience. Unlike a lot of rides, you don't get the same experience on the Tower of Terror because all the drops are different. One drop or one ride can contain 3 drops. One ride can contain 6. I think the last time I rode it, I counted like 7. So it's so much fun. And let me tell you, you almost get risen off your seat. It's safe. It's safe, and it's not in a bad way, but you can kind of like feel you're standing up and then sitting back down pretty quickly. So it's a great ride. I highly recommend it. I could ride that ride all the time, 24/7 if I had to. And then you have the Rockin' roller coaster featuring Aerosmith. So when you get into this building, you hear just rock music, and then you see all the music from a lot of artists. And as the music continues, and you go walking, and you're kind of waiting in line for it, and then you do this little pre-show. A lot of Disney rides have these pre-shows. So what it is this manager of Aerosmith is trying to get you backstage passes for the Aerosmith concert, but you're not going to make it in time. And Aerosmith also is in this video, and they're like, give them backstage and VIP passes and all this type of stuff. And so they order a super fast stretch limo, and then the pre-show is over, and then you go into, it looks like a garage, and you get ready, and you're in this limo, and they kind of pull you around this corner, and then they stop, and they have a traffic light, red, yellow, green. And once it hits green, you start at 60 miles per hour. And it's absolutely adrenaline rush. So For safety precautions, I highly recommend you to lay your head back at all times. Don't like look around and be like, ooh, because it's gonna probably hurt. Because I learned this the hard way. Your head will go back really hard. It won't give you like a concussion or anything, but definitely give you a headache for sure. And all of a sudden, you're just in this big loop, which I think the track for with the Rockin' roller coaster is a hidden Mickey. And hidden Mickeys are just like little things you can spot at the Walt Disney World and Disney movies. It's kind of like a Where's Waldo, but hidden Mickey. And so you're in this track, and it's just really fun. And I will tell you again, every time a picture is taken of me on a ride, I look like my life is about to be left from my soul, and I'm not even terrified. I'm just not photogenic on these rides for whatsoever. I don't get it. I really don't. You know how people use an expression like ugly cry? Well, I'm an ugly screamer, apparently, on these pictures. So anyway, let's go to Beauty and the Beast Live. It's just a fun little 20-minute show. It's outside, and it just kind of is the highlight to Beauty and the Beast. So you get like Belle and Gaston, and then the Be Our Guest song, and then Happily Ever After also with the mob song. So really it's just like a 20-minute highlight of the film. And it's really cute, and if you're a big fan of Beauty and the Beast, I highly recommend it. Then the next show that's no longer there, and I'm super sad about, is the Voyage of the Little Mermaid. The building's there, just not the show. So the Voyage of the Little Mermaid is a 20-minute show. It is indoors, and again, it's just like the highlights from the movie. So you get to go from under the sea, part of your world, Poor Unfortunate Souls. Here's the Girl's not in there, I think. I think those were actually all the 3 songs that it is in there. So it's just a cute little show, and you see bubbles, and it kind of rains in there, like you feel water on your face. Super cute. I love it. I love the Little Mermaid. I'm always loyal to the Little Mermaid, so it was definitely a must-do. I'm so sad for it to go. And then you have the Muppet show, 3D. The Muppet is, again, a lot of these shows are just like 20 minutes. It's 3D, so you get some 3D glasses, and you see Kermit the Frog with the game try to put on this show. And it's really funny. And you see the 2 old guys on the balcony who heckle Kermit and Fozzie Bear and Miss Piggy and all that stuff. Gonzo. Gonzo is the Muppet, right? I hope. I think Grover's actually Sesame Street, so yeah. Gonzo. So it's a cute little ride. Then you have Fantasmic. Fantasmic is a nighttime spectacular, and it's absolutely spectacular. You get things from Pocahontas to the Jungle Book to the princesses, which the 3 princesses are Belle, Ariel, and Snow White, which I think they actually changed it at Disneyland. I'm not so sure about Florida because the show wasn't open the last time I went. due to COVID. And now I think it's about Ariel and Rapunzel. So anyway, it's about villains, especially Maleficent. She's the main villain who tries to take out Mickey's imagination and the positive part of Mickey Mouse. So it's really great. So really, I don't have much more to talk about Hollywood Studios, except check it out. It's definitely one of my favorites. There actually is a ride that's not there anymore. So I do apologize. I do actually have more to talk about with Hollywood Studios. And that is the Great Movie Ride. Now it got replaced with Mickey's and Minnie's Runaway Railway. But you see, the Great Movie Ride was my favorite. It's absolutely someone who loves movies, old Hollywood, and everything in between. So they had segments of Singing in the Rain, Mary Poppins, Indiana Jones, Tarzan, Alien, The Wizard of Oz. They definitely had, I think it was Public Enemy they had. And a John Wayne movie. I can't remember which. And at the very end, there's this huge montage of all different types of movies. And it was absolutely my favorite. I'm so sad. It's gone. And one of my favorite parts about the Great Movie Ride is, you see, at the very beginning of the ride, they would have costumes from movies. The very last costume I saw was Freddy Krueger's sweater, which I think is funny that a fictional movie, Boogeyman, is his sweater's presented at Disney World, so it's really cool. So, if I didn't mention the Backlog Tours, I'll talk about it now. It used to be a ride that took you behind the scenes of the movies, and what it would do is you would see props and costumes from the movies, from the parks, and it was just really, really cool. So, I missed that ride too. So, let's talk about Disney Springs real quick. Disney Springs is a shopping and entertainment center. It's a lot of restaurants. Now they have a lot of high-end shops, so you're gonna see Kate Spade, Dior, Gucci, stuff like that, which I can't afford any of those things, so I just skip that part of downtown Disney and go into the Disney that I know, which includes the World of Disney. It's a huge shop full of Disney merchandise, and then they have like a little Christmas shop where you can buy Christmas ornaments and stockings. I actually bought a Dumbo stocking because I love elephants so much. I had to. And I stood there debating if I should get a Stitch one, a Dumbo, or a Winnie the Pooh because I love all of them. So they have shops like that. Then they have Goofy's Candy Company where you can get like little slushies and caramel apples and popcorn and just little sweets. And it's really, really good. And then they used to have this this entertainment center called Disney Quest. What Disney Quest was, it was a huge arcade and interactive game place. And you could just play all these games for hours on end. It was really, really cool. And I'm so sad it's gone. I wish a lot of people got to experience that. But it is taken down now. And then they have this huge show called, it's new. What is it called? Like, Disney's Drawn to Life, which used to be called Cirque du Soleil La Nuba, which Disney Drawn to Life is Cirque du Soleil. I don't remember La Nuba so much. My parents loved it, but I don't really remember it. But Disney's Drawn to Life is practically just a tribute to the animation part of Disney. So you have movies like Snow White and Peter Pan and The Little Mermaid. So if I ever have the opportunity, I'm definitely going to watch that. It's definitely a must-do for me. And I hope a lot of people do watch it. And if you have seen it, let me know down in the comments. So let's talk about the two water parks, Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon. Blizzard Beach is known for its huge wave pool, which I think sets to 90-second waves, and they're huge waves. I don't remember how tall they are, but they wipe you out. And the nice thing is, on Typhoon Lagoon, I can just sit in that wave pool all day. And they have water slides, and they used to have the snorkeling thing, but they took that out. But they have the water slides and everything like that. But the main attraction is the wave pool. It's definitely, I can just sit there forever and ever till the parks close. The one thing a lot of people do, and I feel so bad for them, is that when the waves come, they underestimate how powerful these waves are, and they'll still be in the shallow end, and then they get scratched up pretty badly. Never be in the shallow end when the waves are coming. You have to swim to the middle, because it gets deep near the middle, really deep. So you have to swim in the middle, and that way you don't get scratched. But yeah, everybody gets knocked out. And they also do surfing lessons there. So if people want to surf the waves, they can swim to the very end of the pool and surf the waves. So then you have Typhoon Lagoon, which they have a lot of little water slides and a little pool and stuff like that. But the main attraction there is Summit Plummet. You see, with Summit Plummet, they have two little slides. They have this little normal slide, and then they have the Extreme Ride. I believe it's actually in one of the top 10 most extreme water slides in the world. It's big, it's scary, but it's fun. The worst part about it, though, is it gets you a really bad wedgie. really bad. And so what you do is, when you get up, I don't know if anybody else experienced this like I have, but when I walked up the stairs, right in the middle, that was just halfway up, my stomach was to the ground. I kind of thought I wanted to go back down, but I thought to myself, no, I wanted to do this. I've always wanted to do this. I'm going to do this. And what doesn't help is that you get to see Epcot in the Tower of Terror at Hollywood Studios. You can literally see the doors open. That tells you how tall it is. And you don't get a good glimpse of it, but you can kind of see the Cinderella Castle if you look at the right angle. You can see the Cinderella Castle, which kind of is own little island at Magic Kingdom. You're pretty high up. And then on this, to my right, this guy told me over there is Universal Studios. I could see Universal Studios really high up. And I just felt my palms start to swim. Like, this is too high. This is ridiculous. Maybe I'm not a thrill seeker as I thought I was. But I went through with it. I went down, and then I did it a couple times. But every time, my just stomach dropped. It was very, very terrifying. So, I think I actually got through all the parks. It definitely isn't as long as the first part, just because Magic Kingdom took so much time. So, I am going to talk about just a couple of my favorite hotels. And the first one is Disney's Art of Animation. They have 4 parts in Art of Animation. You have The Little Mermaid, The Lion King, Cars, and Finding Nemo. Of course, I bet you guys already know what part of it I stayed in. Seeing that giant Ariel statue was absolutely my favorite part of that hotel. And it's a beautiful hotel. I want to stay there again, but this time I might stay in the Lion King part. I do want to stay in the Lion King part. So that's one hotel I really love. And I really like the little Disney's pop hotels. They have like Pop Centuries, like All-Star Movies, or no, All-Star Sports, Pop Movies, or something like that. Can't remember the names, like they're all slipping out now. But they're very, very cool. I do recommend it. And then, of course, if I won the lottery, I want to stay in hotels like the Polynesian and Animal Kingdom Lodge. Those 2 are my absolutely bucket list hotels to do at Disney. So I think we got a lot of things covered in these 2 videos. So I think that's going to be a wrap on Disney. Thanks for listening, and please comment down below on what you think. Thank you.